Right guys, Gaffed is back with the explanation to the ultimate zigzag card. It does require a bit of a build, and in true gaffer fashion, just so this video isn't too long, I have taken the steps to creating this. These are very easy steps. You're going to need two of the same picture card and another random card, and then you're going to need two. These could be jokers or advertising cards or any cards you want. So you're going to start out by getting one of the duplicate cards and a random card. It does not matter what this is. You're going to literally sellotape these two cards together. Then you're going to put them on your block, and you're going to cut a little square hole all the way through both cards. And the idea of taping these two cards together is so that the cuts are exactly in the same place on both cards. But you do need to leave, this is about 8mm through the center. You do need to leave a little bit of a center, so you're just cutting out a hole in the middle, leaving about 8mm wide across the center. So you've got done these two cards. You're then going to get your two jokers or two advertising cards, and you're going to cut two holes through these. So again, you're going to stick these two cards together, but these holes need to be smaller than these holes. Let me see if we can see it this way. Look, there's probably a good 5 or 6mm difference in this hole. It does need to look a little bit like this, so make sure this hole is a good 5 or 6mm smaller on all sides. Can you see? So you've got this. So you're going to cut these two cards like this, and you're going to cut these two cards like this. You're then going to get your third card on this section, your duplicate to this king, and we're going to cut this one. We'll put these aside for a minute. So what you're going to do, you're going to leave a very small channel. Now you can see roughly where I've done these. I don't know if you can see this little red bit in the center and the king. That's about how wide this is going to be. It needs to be as narrow as possible, but you still need to have a little bit to work with. So I'm going to cut it about there, and I'm going to cut that all the way through the card, making sure it is square. And we're going to cut all the way through that card. Push this bit aside, because now you need to cut this again. You're going to get to that little red edge again, which is about there. So literally this slither I'm cutting off now is probably a couple of mil thick. I know it's hard to see on camera. And you're going to cut that out. You need to keep this piece. So you've got these two bits cut out, and you've got this tiny slither. Remembering which way round the slither goes, it's that way round. This is the tricky bit. You're now going to stick this slither on the back of this card here. Remembering which way it goes, so it wants to be stuck on the back of this card like this. But these two cards need to match up, and it needs to make one card. This is quite a tricky little bit. So we're going to take this slither, I'm going to get my glue stick. This is quite a little tricky bit of the whole process, because you're working with such a small piece. You're going to glue stick this piece. Getting any excess glue off my fingers, and this piece is going to get stuck on the back of this card. Line it up in the middle, stick it down, make sure it's not protruding on the sides, and then with these two pieces you're going to make sure that that is lined up perfectly. This is why it's so tricky with this little bit. You're working with such a small, thin piece of playing card. So these two pieces, when they go in here, needs to line up on the back edge. So it is a tricky bit. Get in there. And that king might need to be round this way so the pattern matches the pattern on this side. Like I say, this is a tricky little bit. So that's better. Now I would let this glue go off in the real world. I haven't got time to let it go off. And then you're going to get this piece and you're going to stick it over the top. You're just going to put a bit of glue down this edge and you're going to stick this piece over the top, making sure I've got this piece round the right way. That looks like the right way. Let me just double check. Yeah, that's the right way. So you're just going to rub a little bit of glue just over that tiny 2mm piece of card you've just stuck there. That's why you should really let it go off, because it only wants to be on that little bit of card. And then you're going to get this, let me just make sure that's round the right way. Yeah, and you're going to stick that over the top. So that looks like one card from this side. Like I say, you're going to want to do this in stages by letting the glue set, because what's going to happen is you're going to slide this piece in here. You should have a little trench for it to go through there, like that. And then this piece is going to slide in this piece, like that. Oh. Now what I would say is let this glue set, because what's going to happen is it's going to want to stick this card. But for demonstration purposes, I don't have the luxury of too much time. And you can already see it starting to split because you've got such a tiny piece of card stuck across here. So it should look like this. To the untrained eye, it's a plain card. Certain angles you're going to see the cut out bits, but generally you won't see it. Now this is another tricky bit you're going to have to do in a minute. So we're going to slide that piece out. We're going to slide this piece out, put them aside, make sure it's all squared up, because you're going to have to stick these two pieces together. This is tricky. This is why you're going to have to let this glue set. This is probably going to fall apart on me because I haven't got the time to let it set. Let me turn that round this way, it might be a bit more visual. There we go, it's a bit better, isn't it? So you're going to get yourself some traditional sellotape. You don't want it too thick. Literally, I don't know, 6-7 mil, something like that. And you're going to stick it, you're going to open this gimmick up, you're going to stick the sticky side underneath this card, like that. And then you're going to get your piece of the card, you're going to slide that in there, slide it down so it's perfect shape, and then you've got to literally lift up this bit but leaving the actual, or just lifting up the bit you've cut. The actual card here is staying down. So you're going to lift up the top piece, you're going to get the sellotape, and you're going to fold it over the gimmick piece of card. This is so tricky. Fold it over and stick it down. So what that's done, it's stuck these two cards together, but this should still hopefully, what that's happening is it's trying to stick on the glue. This will slide in and out like. But like I say, this is all falling apart because I'm not letting the glue set. So that's that piece. Take that bit out. Now do the same on the other side. Get your little bit of tape. Lift up the top piece of the gimmick. Put your tape inside here. Close it down. Get your piece of card which will slide in like that. Right, just lifting up the top flap, the actual card is staying still. You're going to fold the tape over your gimmick piece of card which is inside. Stick it down. So that's sort of stuck these two cards together, making sure that you can't really see the sellotape on the top. And when the gimmick is complete, you should be able to slide this piece in. Now you will find at first it's quite stiff because there's residue of glue inside. And then the finished article should look like this. When it's all stuck, it should be quite firm. So you've got your two jokers, and you're going to present the trick by showing you've got a joker with a hole, another joker with a hole, and a king. You're going to place the king between. Now why the holes are smaller, it's so it's covering the fact that, let me just show you. When this piece slides out, you don't want to see any of that luck. That's why this is a little bit smaller. So you'll have one on the bottom, one on the top, and you will be able to zigzag your card. Now this isn't going to pull out, oh it is. You can show the card is zigzagged. Push everything back in together. Fix the cut. And then show a solid card. So that's it guys. Like I say, you're going to have to do this in stages because this, you've got a tiny piece of card across here which is holding the whole thing together to start with. And just make sure you don't see any bits of tape on the top. So that is how to create the ultimate zigzag card. Comment, subscribe, like guys, and come back tomorrow for another card trick. Cheers.